Hello, Decker fans. It is I, your host, Jack Decker, and welcome to the Daily Decker. Today's topic, should you vote for Donald Trump? First off, let me start by saying I do not like the guy. I think he is egotistical. I think that his personality is very rough and very difficult. He is not one who works well with others. He's also said a lot of things that I highly disagree with, like that recent statement he made of Mexican immigrants coming over here. I do not like that at all. But despite all of his flaws, which are many and lots of in numerous quantities, the reason why I think we should vote for Trump is not because he is the correct candidate for the job, but because it would throw such a monkey wrench in the plans of all of these politicians that have done their best to wreck this entire country. Let's face it, Congress is at an all-time low approval rating. Donald Trump is disastrous when you look at him in some of the polls, but according to CNN, even they had to say Hillary Clinton is now behind Donald Trump in some of, actually a lot of these polls from what I was watching on CNN today. That's unheard of. A mainline candidate like her falling behind Donald Trump, and the reason why I think that people are falling behind Donald Trump is because we're tired of all this feel-good president stuff. Say nice things, give us nice things, but don't do squat that really does anything for the country. We're tired of hearing all of this feel-good, nicey nice politician. I swear that in no uncertain terms that I shall consider greatly to improve the American standard. Like that. That's what comes out of a lot of politicians' mouths. Donald Trump, when he speaks, he doesn't speak garbage like that. He comes right out in your face and annoys the hell out of you. You get mad at him because he's blunt, straight out, but he's a straight shooter. You know where he's coming from. I highly disagree with a lot of things that he said, in particular, the immigrant issue, with his statement that Mexico and others are giving us their worst. That's not why people come here, because they're bad people. To go, oh, let's go to America where we shall be able to get away with murder and the like. No, that's not why people come to America. They come here because in a lot of these cases, let's face it, Mexico is in the hands of the drug cartels. There's a few nice areas where the ultra-rich get to live, and oh, Mexico is nice for them. But for the average person, it's a hellhole. They live their entire life in fear of the drug cartels. Some of these areas, the drug cartels come in and say, give us your women or your lives. That's the only option you get. And that's why they come here to America, because they're trying to escape from that hell. They want a better life for their kids, their families. So they come to the United States because, let's face it, we're a great country. People don't come here because they're the worst of humanity. People come here because this is a nice place that people want to come to raise their kids, because it's a nice country with the rule of law protecting you on a daily basis from roving gangs hopped up on drugs saying either farm drugs for us and give us your daughters or we'll kill you all. That's why people come to the United States. Now, one thing I need to say is, the reason why a border exists is not to prevent, or should exist, is not to prevent people from coming into the United States that just wish to come in. I'm a libertarian. That means that people have one of those unwritten rights in our Constitution, is the right to travel, the right to go wherever you so please. And with that, that means people should be allowed to come in and exit our country at their leisure. People want to come into Mexico, from Mexico to here to live. Go right ahead. The border should not be just stopping people at the border. people who are Mexican citizens should be able to come into the United States and live if they want to. They should be able to find work if employers want to hire Mexican citizens. If they want to come into the United States, they should be allowed to without this harassment at the border. But the border exists to try to weed out those drug dealers, those criminals, those mass murderers. That's why the border exists. Also to make sure that when people come in here, we're having some diseases popping up that we've never heard of or haven't seen in ages. Because we have people coming in who we aren't screening for, hey, we need to keep you in a hospital for 20 days to make sure you recover from this illness before you go visit your relatives here in the United States. That's what a border should be for, to make sure criminals do not cross in, and that if people are sick, give them medical attention at the border, so that, and not in these garbage centers that they've set up now, but in proper medical facilities, hospitals, where you have a room that you can recover from your illness, get treated, and then join your family. That's what should be happening. So, Donald Trump, I really say shame on you for that statement of saying that Mexico is giving us their worst. But the reason why that statement gained a lot of popularity is because there are some bad people. They're a minority of the people coming across our border, but it's still present that there are criminals coming across the border. That recent murder of that one Mexican that came across the border because LA released him because they didn't want to hand him over to ICE, Immigration and Custom Enforcement, because they said he, for whatever reason. The simple fact is, the second you let him out of jail, what did he do? He went and murdered somebody. That's what ICE's job is for, is to get those people and send them back to Mexico so we don't risk people's lives here, both U.S. citizens and visiting citizens from other nations. But getting off of that, Donald Trump is, again, going back to the original statement, loud and obnoxious, which is kind of what we need in this country. We're sick and tired of these double-speak presidents and candidates that we can't get a straight word out of them anymore. And that's why I think he's gaining in popularity. Do I really want him to be a president? Not really. There's enough other issues with both his personality, his business practices, as well as a few other things. Just look up Donald Trump. There's been issues and controversies galore with the guy, with his running of some of his businesses, and I'm not sure that we need another multimillionaire in the presidency. Let's face it, a lot of these guys who run for president are wealthy. How about we have a wage cap for the presidency? You're not allowed to be run for president unless you've made under $50,000 per year. Okay, how about we have something like that in there, so more representative of the rest of us? And before you say, why the 50,000, you one of those rich guys? And no, 50,000 ain't rich no more, not with inflation. And I am by no means rich. I make less than 20 grand a year. I am dirt poor. But at least with $50,000, that's the start of a lot of small business owners, which is what we need more of in this country. And I think that's why people look at Trump. He is, whether you like his personality or not, he is a successful businessman. He's run a lot of businesses. There's also some argument that a couple of them he's run into the dirt. But I think that's why he is popular. He's a straight shooter. And you don't have to like him. And in fact, most people hate him, but at least you respect him. He comes out swinging hard at every single interview he does. He doesn't just sit there and take the insults that come to his face. Another thing he did I don't like, the whole giving out Senator Lindsey Graham's phone number. I don't like that. I don't think that is right. I think that's pretty lowball. But that's why he gets is rising in popularity, because he played strong-arm tactics after being called a jackass. What does he do? He goes out in old cowboy western fashion. Since we can't do any of those old-fashioned duels, which I see Trump as the type that would be challenging folks to duels in the street left and right. He does the next best legal thing he can, even though it is completely morally wrong what he did. It is still legal, and it showed strength, and you gotta respect the guy, because I haven't seen strength in a lot of our leaders. Even with President Obama, he just doesn't do anything that presents strength. He sits up there in his office every day and comments on things, but when have you actually seen any real action come about? Or even before him, Bush, the only thing of strength he did was declare war, and that's not the real best show of strength we need either. We need people that actually show day-to-day strength, and that's what he does. He is obnoxious, he's a pain in the ass, and I think will cause the government to run to a standstill because no one will want to work with each other. But hey, remember, if the government ain't working, then they can't screw us over. And I think that's what we need, is not somebody that's one of these political talky-talks that speak out of both sides of their mouths. We need that hard-hitting, obnoxious guy. I wish I would vote for him just because of that, because he's obnoxious as hell. And I'm tired of these PC, not even PC, just double-talking candidates that shout all this garbage and then don't do squat when they're in there. At least in his case, I think that he's going to shake politics up. For good or ill, you want to talk about change in politics? He will do it. He will throw the entire system upside down and get a lot of people mad. But I think it's about time we got mad. We've shown that things aren't going the way we want. Things are in trouble. Our economy's on the downturn again. Our import ability is going through the roof while our export ability is dropping through the floor because we don't have any industry left. Bring some business back to the United States. Loosen these rules. Promote business, and more specifically, promote small business, which is why I really think that Trump is not going to be a good candidate, because he is essentially the poster child for everything wrong with big business. And I don't want him as the president for that. But if it came down to a choice between him, Jeb Bush, and Hillary Clinton, I say vote for him. He will shake things up for good or bad, get some actual change going on in this country. Do not count this as a political endorsement. Okay, this is not an endorsement of any sort, of his character. His character is a pain in the ass. He says a lot of things that I personally hate and disagree with, but he said a lot of things that do need to be said, do need to be argued, and he's the only one who's done it so far. So if it came down to a choice between those three candidates, I would vote for Trump, just because he's an asshole. And that's what we need. That should be his slogan. Donald Trump, asshole for president. Like President Scroob from Spaceballs. We need a jerk in the presidency. We need somebody that's hated. And then, at the very least, if anything goes wrong, we can all say it's Donald Trump's fault. From some of the economic forecasts that I've been reading lately, it probably would be a good idea to have it Donald Trump as president, because then we can all blame all our woes on him when he gets in. But either way, I want to say thank you all I've now had 3 people watch my videos other than myself, according to Google Analytics. So I do thank those 3 people that decided to actually watch my video, and one who even commented. I do apologize for the quality of some of these videos. I do them. This is also sort of my public statement of the intent I want from the show, is that I want to cause controversy. I want to cause people to fight it out in the comments. I want you to scream, "You idiot, you're a dumb wad, you should never vote for Trump, and here are the reasons why." I want people to say that in the comments. I want there to be fighting in the comments, as long as it's respectful. No swearing, no devolving into racist rants or any of that shit. Just please have a respectful argument in the comments below. And that's what I want out of this show. I am not the smartest person on planet Earth. I don't have the answer to everything. But I want people to discuss these hard topics that people want to avoid. And one of them is Donald Trump. right now is a hard topic, and that's what I want people to discuss and finally decide, is he or is he not good, for this country? And that's what I want to hear people talk about down below. So please do so. I apologize again for the quality of these videos. I shoot these in my free time because I'm running all over the place to work and school and other things, and it's just driving me rowdy. So I wish to say thank you all for watching, and please like the video. Not if you like me or Donald Trump, but if you like the idea, hey, let's have a discussion of something for once, instead of just devolving into Neanderthals going, that's wrong. And if you want to hear more of my probably now politically incorrect videos, because I have quasi-endorsed, not the personality or the ideas of Trump, but him as out of those three candidates who I would vote for, please subscribe. And I wish to say thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.